What's up guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to install Christmas lights on your home so you don't have to pay someone else to do it. I'm going to go over all the steps, safety equipment, and all the things you'll need to get the job done, and by the end of this video you're going to be able to do it yourself with ease. Alright, so I'm going to go over a quick rundown of the process. So step 1, you're going to measure your house. 2, once you have the set amount of feet, you're going to cut that many sockets off the strand, and then you're going to also account for bulbs and clips. 3 is you're going to find where your power is going to go. So you find a socket on the front side of the house where you're going to run your power. After step 3, you're going to hang the lights. So get all your sections up and put them on the house. Step 4, connect all those connections together so you have one consistent strand. And then once the strands is set, you can run your power down to the socket where you can turn it on, check for any lights that are out. And if there is lights out, just go ahead and screw the bulbs in, because sometimes they get loose when you're putting them on the roof. So you can screw them in, make sure they're on, and then after that you're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to go over step 1. This is starting to measure the house. Normally we do it on Google Earth because it's super easy, but if the house is not on Google Earth, like in this case, I'm going to show you exactly how to measure that. So in my instance, my steps are about roughly 2.35 feet. So just like a normal step is 2.35 feet for me. So if I have, 25 steps across this house, I'll multiply it by 2.35 and I'll get my rough estimate of footage for the front gutter. If you have a symmetrical house though, you can get the front measurement, and then it's gonna be the same as the top ridge. So then you can just, go off of that. Same thing with the side. I'll walk it out, get the measurement, and it's gonna be the same as that side. So once you get your feet, you can then go and start cutting your bolts. Okay, so I had to speed this clip up to save some time, but as far as walking out the house, you're going to have to find your average foot per step. Mine is 2.35, so after walking out the front gutter, I got 18 steps, so I multiplied that by 2.35 and got a rough 42 feet. So the ridge is actually symmetrical in this house, so it would be the same, so I'd have 84 feet for the front gutter and ridge. And then I walked out the side and got 12 steps. Make sure to walk out of the house to account for slope, because if not, you're going to have too short of a measurement. So I took the 12 steps by 2.35 and got 28 feet. Multiplied that by 2 for the other side and got 56 feet. So I'd have a total of 140 feet for this house, but I added 10% to be safe, so we cut 154 feet off of the spool. Alright, so now we're going to start doing the process of putting the bulbs in the sockets and cutting out as much as we need. So here's what the bulb looks like. It's a C9 bulb. It's pretty big and bright. And it's your clip. So you're going to want to go the top of the clip and then screw into the socket. And also realize that there's a part that's strictly metal roof. So we're actually going to need some magnetic clips as well, around 32 feet. And we're going to subtract that from the total here. And just sticks, they're actually really strong. So I actually prefer them better than these because it's a lot less work having to put clips on. And pro tip, you want to have these plugged in while you're bulbing, just because you can actually see some of these bulbs actually go in sideways sometimes and they won't light up. So to do a connection, I'm going to go over this more later, but you have your bare wire, you're going to split it. You split it like that, so you have 2 separate ends. And you have your male connection. You slide your cap off, and if you can see inside here, there's 2 separate sides where each wire needs to go. So you feed these 2 ends in here and make sure they go on separate sides or you're gonna have a short. So they're separated, you push down to where the prongs go into the wire, and then you take your cap and you slide it over. So now you have a power plug ready for it. And there is female plugs that also go on the ends of these strips. So you can just plug it in and then you start bulbing from there. Alright, so before we get on the roof, I've already found my power supply right here on the porch. So we're going to start on this side of the house and we'll run power down to here. So now let's go to the trailer to go over some safety gear. Okay, so as far as safety gear goes, there's a lot of different options. For a house like this, you don't really need anything too crazy. So we have these shoes called cougar paws. They have a mesh on the bottom that grips to any shingles. So you won't grip. You can basically run on a roof and not slip off of it. Second thing we have, it's called a pitch hopper. It's pretty much a roof wedge. It's got the same material on the bottom, so you can basically stand level. You can stand level on shingle roofs and not slip off. We have black, and we also just got a new pair of these. They're a little more versatile because they're small, and you can set whatever you want on them, and it's not going to fall off the roof. For this house, we don't need it, but we actually have a hip lock ordered, and it ties into the ridge of the roof where you can harness yourself in. Because last year we had a couple close calls, and we decided to invest the money in some more safety gear. All right, so let's get these cougar paws on. All right, so now that we got those on, I can grab my pitch hoppers and head to the roof. All right, so after looking at the roof, there's a metal edge before the gutter. So I'm gonna do that section from the ground just to stay safe. All right, so I'm on the ladder right now. I'm gonna show you all how to clip these into the gutter. This is actually the easiest part. So I'm only gonna show you a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it on the time lapse. So just take this gutter clip and you just pop it down. So you wanna make sure your wire isn't twisted or anything. And then they're 12-inch spacing, so you just pull it tight. You pull it tight, and then you can just keep going all the way down. I'm just gonna do this front gutter section on the ladder, and I'll put you on the time lapse. Okay, so I just got done with the front gutter line. Now I'm about to put the magnetic clips on this piece of roof because there's nothing else you can put on it except metal clips. And we'll get into the connections later in the video. They're just bare wire at the moment. Okay, so magnetic clips are pretty easy. All you have to do is set them down. So make sure you got your spacing right and where these can connect later. So all you do is set it down. Make sure your line is straight and keep them, all on the edge. So you might have to spin it a little bit, and then you can just go all the way down with that. Okay, so now that I've made it to the end of this section, we can't do any more magnetic. So you take your cutters, you find the middle of this strand, and then all you have to do is just cut it, and then you move on, and then we come back later and connect this to our shingle tabs that are gonna go up right there. All right, so now we're on the roof. I'm gonna show you how these shoes work in this pitch hopper. So shoes are gripping, and you can just pretty much walk however you want. I mean, you're gonna stay stuck to this roof. I mean, you could run on this thing if you wanted to. Definitely not the metal though. So this is also the pitch hopper. So you set it there, it's a roof wedge, and you can just step on it, and it's not going anywhere. You can use to use steps up the, you can use go have steps going up the roof, and they're actually a really good tool. So I have these lights ready to be put down this side. For your peaks, you're gonna wanna start from the top and going down so you can get your tension right. And your peak is always gonna be cut. So this is a normal clip, and you're gonna want it to look like this. You're gonna cut it off, or else it won't go into the peak. So you're gonna start from top to bottom. That way you can get your tension right, and also make sure that your colors are gonna align depending on the pattern you're doing. So all you do is start here. Once you get it in the peak, so once you get your peak set, you can just work your way down. All right, so we're about to start the ridge. So we pre-bulb these with no clips, just because these ridge clips go on after. So all you do, you find this mark and you slip right over it. It locks in, and then I'll show you really quick how to mount this on your ridge. So you grab the teeth on the bottom and grab under, and they sit straight up. And then you just do your tension all the way down, and then finish it up. All right, so earlier I showed you about the male clip. That's what you plug into the wall. And at the end of every male clip run, you have to have a female. That ends the line. So power comes from here and ends here. So this is our strip. It's separate from every other strip. So it started with one of these. Started with a male clip, and you end it with a female. So I showed you earlier, but you slide the top off, split the wire, put it in, and then you put the cap down, and you can just connect it to your next run. So these connect together, and this one starts with a male. Since power is coming this way, it starts with a male, ends with a female. The next one starts with a male. So then they all connect, and you can just tuck it away a little bit, and then now you're good to go to the next connection. All right, so this is our second connection. The power is coming from this cord. So I ended it with a female, started this one with a male, and then you can plug them together, and they're good to go. All right, so this is connection number 3. I actually had to make a mini jumper because they were too tight. So you get a piece of a wire that you cut off of your extra bulbs. Like any extra bulbs you had, you cut off extra wire, make a jumper, and just clip them in just like that, and then on to the next. All right, this is connection number 4. All right, so connection number 5, we had to make a jumper because we were trying to keep the colors to match. So we had to make a jumper for these to connect. So got that on. Roofs like this, you have to be extra careful because we're right by a power supply. So I mean, you don't really want to be very close to it, but you kind of have to for. So that's connected now, and you can just adjust slack to where they sit straight. Straight enough, and then you're good to go there. All right, so this is the end of the run. You have to end it with a female. So same situation, put it in here, make sure they're split, and then push down on the blades, push it together, and then what I like to do at the end, since you're not plugging it in anything, just slide it right here in this clip, and then set it down. And that finishes our run. Now we can go run to power. All right, so we just got done with all the stuff that we pre-measured. We were actually only 6 feet off, so that's 6 bulbs. So that's actually pretty accurate for what we've got going on. We decided to add a strip right here in the middle, all the way along this middle. We didn't think about it at first, but we just kind of want to go all out with this house. So this is a good time to show you inlines. So you can use a female plug, take out this piece, and now you can put it directly into one of the lines. It has to be female because you're going to be plugging into power, since this line already has power. But don't do any connections or cuts while there's power to the plug, because it can blow up, shock you, whatever. So you learned that the hard way. Yeah. I definitely learned that the hard way. I cut it and something blew up, but I'll show you how inline works right here. So you just put it right on the line, push down, and then you can slide your clip right over. It's kind of tough sometimes, but so you gotta use some pressure, connect this back, and now I can plug a jumper or whatever you want to plug into it right into it. Now we'll start our magnetic strip all the way down the middle. All right, so we just got this last row set and everything is connected. So now we're ready to drop the power line. All right, so as far as running power goes, you're gonna need your lamp wire. You're not gonna cut it until you get close to the socket. And you're also gonna need some clear zip ties for the gutter if it's white. But if you have a dark color gutter, use a different color zip tie. So I'm gonna just start by connecting this up there, running it down the gutter, and then we'll use this cordless hot glue gun to secure it to the concrete all the way to the timer, just so no one trips over the cord and no one sees it. Okay, so this is where I dropped power from. I connected my lamp wire right here, tucked it in the gutter, and then dropped it down the back with zip ties, and then it just comes all the way down, and then we drop it into the dirt. And now we're gonna roll this wire all the way to the timer. So I'm gonna do that right now, get as much as we need out. You don't want to cut it too short at first because you come up short. So you're always going to want to come to your timer and then cut, 2 feet extra, just in case someone wants to unplug it. So this is probably where I'm going to cut. So cut that off. I'm done with that piece. And leave this over here. Now I can start gluing this back, just so it stays out of the way and no one trips on it. So just put a little glob, and then make sure your tension's tight, and then hold it there till it dries, and then you repeat that until you get all the way down to the timer. All right, so now that we've got all the wire hid away, not to where no one could trip on it, I'm gonna add the male plug. Okay, so we're gonna add our last male plug right here. So split the wire again, split, open your plug. Okay, so just plug it in the bottom. And I'm gonna turn these on now, check the bulbs, and I'm gonna catch y'all when it gets dark. All right, so this video is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna go ahead and summarize the steps for you. So you're gonna measure, cut, find your power, install, and then you're gonna run your power cord to the timer. This would probably cost us around $291, but if we were doing it for a customer, it'd be more like $1,940. So we can take a step back and look at the lights. And I'm not gonna get too far into the details of the business, but we basically install, maintain, take down, and store the lights for our customers. And then this is the final product. Put on a timer, and they never have to touch it.